Hey guys, Angry Beast here. I'm going to do some domination gameplay on the map Subbase using my Scar Age class here with the cold-blooded perk, and that's what this commentary is about today. I want to talk about the relationship between kill streaks, UAVs, and cold-blooded blind eye assassin type perks. Now, one thing that's really been misconstrued in the Call of Duty community as a whole is the fact that stealth perks are bad. The stealth perks are not bad. I'm going to say that right now. Stealth perks are a very vital part to any first-person shooter. If you can't play stealthy, there is no real way to play tactical. Stealth is an important part in tactics because if you can't play stealthy and sneak behind a person, you'll find it very hard to get into a situation where you can constantly win a gunfight. That's what the stealth perks are meant for. They're not meant for the person who's sitting back and playing defensive. That's what the health increase perks are like, because when you're playing defensive, people are already going to know where you are. While playing defensive is effective with cold-blooded, I would say that it's not the best way to do it. I'd say an aggressive defensive role like this one right here is where they really shine, because I'm on a flank of theirs. Their spawn's right there, and it allows me to sit here and kill them as they come out of their spawn and help my team out quite a bit while having good cover and a good advantage of position over my opponents. If you notice, one thing that I'm doing throughout here is I'm not moving. I don't have to move, even though they're pulling out a Harrier from nowhere. I don't really have to go inside. I actually fail that right here, but I forget that I have cold-blooded at this point, and that's something you learn over time, especially if you play a couple of play sessions with cold-blooded on. You'll eventually learn that, hey, if there's a Harrier up, I can just stay outside and I don't have to worry about it. And that's what cold-blooded really gives you. It gives you the freedom to do what you want to do, and not have to worry about the enemy team's kill streak affecting what you're doing. People have abused that, though, in previous games. In Black Ops, especially in the TDM game modes, it was a huge problem. You'd have these guys who would just sit in a corner with a suppressed assault rifle, and they'd use that to their advantage because they'd always have the position advantage on you because of the weird hit detection in Black Ops. You could see a person way before they can shoot at you, and it led to slowing down the game a bit. And that's not how I'd recommend using cold-blooded or stealth perk in general, because what they're intended to be used for is, like I said, an aggressive tool. Playing defensive with them is only using them to half their potential. If you play super defensive with them, you're not going to get too much out of it. If you notice right here, I believe at this point I'm waiting for my payload to come in, and that's the only situation where I'd really consider playing defensive is when you're waiting for kill streak. When you are using cold-blooded, though, you can hide a little bit more effectively, and that's one of the better tools of it, is because it lets you build up those kill streaks without worrying about the one random thing killing you. One thing that it helps inadvertently to protect against is noob tubers, which is especially important in a game like Modern Warfare 2. But that's all you seem to see, is in every game you'll have that one guy who's one-man army in danger close noob tubing across the map. And cold-blooded really gives you the advantage to hide from them, because a lot of people just rely on their radar for the location of people. And when you combine that with good stealth perks like Ninja or Sitrep Pro, where you can know where your enemies are coming by their auditory signals as well as their visual signals, and you can really use this to your advantage. An important part to playing defensive is having a good position, and that's one of the reasons why I'm using the tactical insertion in this game. I don't believe I have ever really take the time to throw it down. That's simply because there was no need to do it. If you need to use a tactical insertion, though, always put it in a position where you're on the flank of an enemy and in a spot where you can kill them as they're coming out of their spawn. But make sure it's undercover. A good spot, if we were the other team right now, would be right around here. This would be where I'd put a tactical insertion behind the crates behind me, because tactical insertions affect spawns. An enemy team player will never spawn on top of a tactical insertion. It's a fact. Even on maps which have really bad spawn systems like Dome and Modern Warfare 3, you can use a tactical insertion as basically a spawn block, and that's one of the more effective uses of it, not just as a place to pick where you respawn. You can use it as a spawn block. I use that all the time in Black Ops, because in Black Ops you could cancel tactical insertions, so I'd use that so they wouldn't spawn right behind me, and I would sit in a defensive position over a head glitch like this one right here, and try and play defensive and keep the gunfights to my favor with an assault rifle, because when you're using an assault rifle, rushing around is fun and it's possible to do, but you're going to get killed by the one or two guys who run the submachine guns in these games. There's almost always at least one guy who likes to run the submachine gun in a game, and you can never really assume that there's not, because at any point in a Call of Duty game, someone can change their class and do something else, and that's one of the things that makes the game so dynamic. If a person's using a sniper at one point, they could respawn 2 seconds later and be coming back at you with a shotgun, or they could come back at you with an assault rifle, and it means you have to learn how to play the weapons to your advantage. Most of the time you don't see this too much, though. The way the game basically plays is one person picks a class. They generally stick with that the entire time, unless they're doing really bad, and then they'll switch up to a try-hard class, which is how a lot of people play, and it really lets you cater your playstyle to the enemy's playstyle. Because if I know a guy's gonna be rushing with a shotgun or a submachine gun, I'll try and play defensive and pick them off as they run towards me. That's the situation we have them in right now. I'm only up here because my team is triple capping, and when you're triple capping, it's never a good idea to go down on the ground if you can have a position of advantage. And most of the time, in most of the maps in Call of Duty, if there's an underground spawn and you're on the above ground spawn, the enemy team won't spawn there. So on maps like High Rise, I'll hop up on top of the cranes and stuff because the enemy team won't spawn up there for sure on that map. But on this map, they'll only spawn up here if we're not up here. So leveraging the spawns is an important part of any map and any first-person shooter for that matter. And it's one of the things that really helps make Call of Duty gameplays as they were on YouTube. I want to talk about my channel for a little bit now because the past couple days have been crazy and I haven't been able to upload on my regular schedule. And I think I'm going to dial back the uploads for a little while. I think I'm going to go down to 2 or 3 videos a week because I'm running low on gameplays. I haven't played Modern Warfare 3 or any Call of Duty for that fact in about a month or two. So I'm really running low. I think I have like 10 more videos that I can post out of just Call of Duty gameplay. But I hope to have some stuff for iPhone apps that I've been developing, working on. I can put some videos out there for you guys, especially ones that relate to YouTube. And that's one of my passions. I personally really love computers, and I love working with their inner parts and just messing with code and stuff. So I've been working on a YouTube notifier app, which basically notifies you of your subscription via push notifications, which should be coming out soon. If anyone has an iPhone, you know that's one thing missing from the YouTube app, and it's something that I really was hoping would happen in iOS 6, but since it hasn't been announced yet, and I don't believe there's going to be any updates to the YouTube app, I'm really hoping that this fills that void, and it should really fill the gap for some people who like to just know when their people they follow have subscription updates, and it should be a cool app. Another thing I've been working on is a couple of games, which I can't detail much information about. Oh yeah, this class, never use this class. Never use an RPD when you're using cold-blooded. That is just a nightmare. RPD is only effective with stopping power because it has a low rate of fire, and cold-blooded makes it a 3-hit kill at all ranges, which is something you never want with a light machine gun if you can help it. You always want to have that 2-hit kill. It's what gives them their advantage. Their constant damage over range for a 2-hit kill really sets them apart from other weapons being fast killing. But you know, sometimes you get stuck in those situations where you're just out of ammo and you can't pick up a scavenger pack. And I hope that's one thing that's fixed in Black Ops 2. It's been constant throughout all the Call of Duties that have had it. Is scavenger, man. It works most of the time, 90% of the time it works, and it works most of the time when you don't need it to work. When you're full on ammo, it always seems to work. But what happens is when you don't have any ammo, what'll happen is the enemy you kill just won't drop a freaking scavenger pack, and it just doesn't make much sense to me. I don't know if there's just a flaw in the developing part of scavenger, and it just doesn't change throughout all these Call of Duties. I want to point out this guy just completely fooled me right there on the ground. I didn't see him there. Fortunately, I do pick him up right here. I think I just stab him in the back in a second because I didn't realize that he was an enemy. Laying down is one of those things in Call of Duty that's just like it can really be an advantage, and especially like right there, I would have never known he was there had I not stopped and taken a look at him again, because the way it works in this game is if you're using cold-blooded, there's no aim assist on you. That's another advantage that cold-blooded really has over a stopping power or lightweight, is that it gives you no aim assist. Which most people would say, oh, that's not important. My accuracy is good enough. I don't need aim assist. Go into this game and try turning off aim assist. I believe it's an option in the multiplayer in this game, and you will just see how hard it is to aim without aim assist. It's one of those things that only the console players have, so if you're on PC, you're kind of screwed, but it gives you advantages in gunfights that you don't even recognize, and it's part of the things that really makes cold-blooded a powerful perk. Yes, it protects against killstreak, which is what I consider a secondary feature of it. I consider its primary usage is for a stealth perk, and not for playing defensive and protecting against the higher kill streaks, but for protecting against the UAVs. They're extremely common in any Call of Duty game, and if you can just stay off them, you have a huge advantage over your opponents. So I have no problems with Assassin or Ghost or whatever, as long as it's used in the proper manner. If you're using a Ghost in a way that just makes you sit in a corner and wait for them to come to you, and you're not moving at all, then I think there's a little bit of a problem with how you play. I'm not going to go out there and say you're a bad player for doing it. I'm just saying I don't care for your style of play because it conflicts with mine, which is generally a rush heavy. You just go out and get them type of play style. I have been trying to slow down my game the last couple times I've played, which is actually a month or two ago, but besides that, I'm trying to slow down my style of play to play more like this, because this is one of the last gameplays I've recorded. And it really shows how effective it can be. I'm not camping or by any means. I'm still moving around, and unfortunately I get killed off my kill streak and I just get destroyed by a sniper. But you know what happens, happens. And if you do slow down your game just a little bit, I think you'll find that your gameplay will performance will improve dramatically. I'm not saying you need to go prone like this and just sit around every corner and wait for them to come to you, but at this point we have a double cap on and we have the win pretty much in the books. I don't think there's any reason for me to run out there and do anything for my team other than just try and get kills, because in the end that's what a first-person shooter is all about. Having fun is getting kills in a first-person shooter. You don't really play first-person shooters to do anything other than get kills. Anyways, guys, the gameplay's over. It's a 36-3 if I remember right. Hope you guys enjoyed. Angry Beast signing out.